And good Monday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with
Candace May.
Hey Candace, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Did you do anything good this weekend?
We did. We went through the safari thing down in Brandon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, took the kids down there, and it was fun. It had a little rain going on there during the day, but we had a good time.
Never been, but I hear it's really, really nice.
Uh-huh.
What about, did you do any garden work, anything, shell peas, or do anything like that?
Oh, no. We took a break from any kind of work on Saturday. That's what I said. I said, I'm so tired of working. Let's just go do something that's not work related, because if we stay home, we're still going to be doing some kind of work. So
It always happens that way.
It does.
Normally this time of year in Mississippi, the end of July, August, somebody's got something to do with a garden. And it usually, that is the worst thing on your thumbs, shelling peas.
Yeah. We didn't do peas because I know from my grandmother making me shell peas and me having purple thumbs.
Oh, yeah.
For years that we didn't do that. But we've got actual vegetables just burning up on the vine right now because it's just so hot.
It is. Coming up, we'll give you some headlines with the news, but let's do some weather first. As we continue to watch the tropical storm move up the coast of Florida there, it's just off in the water. They're still dumping rain as it moves along. And this really has been a blessing for Florida not to be damaged by this. As you can see here on the map, the way that it's going to be taking its route, headed toward Charleston, then it'll move into Raleigh and move on through the Carolinas before it goes on up through New York. So it's been a very, very wet weekend for all our friends in Florida along the coast there. And more is still to come there as they keep having these tropical storm warnings all across the coast there. But there is a silver lining in all of that. Let's do this. Let's take a quick look at radar as we're talking about this storm this morning and just show you where it is at this point. Now, it will be more rain dumping here through Jacksonville, Savannah, and then as you can see there, that extended chart is going to come right in through Charleston and then make landfall and move on up the coast there toward Richmond and on up through Washington and New York by late tomorrow night. So it's going to be still plenty of more rain there as it shows itself as it goes across the Carolinas. So that's where we are right now with what's going on with the storm there as it makes its way. As we switch back gears, let's go back over and pull this back up so we can take a look at what possibly might be happening as we look back at what the Hurricane Center is saying. There's a possibility of another system forming in the Atlantic by the end of the week. They're looking at a 60% chance. There's no guarantee that it will, but conditions at this point are looking like, well, it could possibly happen. We'll watch that and be on tap for that as it comes on closer to the week as well. Well, what's going on locally on our end? Our forecast, again, brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative, the good folks there. As we turn and go back to radar and we bring in closer to the Meridian area, let me pull that up. We're looking extremely good. Our forecast today is calling for it's nice weather. It's going to be sunny today. Our high to reach about 93. No mention of a heat index crossing over 100. We hadn't had that in a while, have we? Down to 70 tonight. It'll be 90 by tomorrow. By tomorrow night, 66. The outlook for Wednesday, 91. Thursday, 93. Friday, 95. But get this, there's absolutely no rain chances in that. So that is good news for all of us. And hopefully we'll be watching this. And for August, that's kind of cool. It will get better before it is all over and said and done. But that's where we are this morning with tracking your weather forecast with what's going to be happening with hurricanes and what's happening locally. I'll recap everything for you here in a few moments.
During these challenging times, there are some things that you can count on every day. One of them is that Rick Justice Automotive will work hard to help you find just the right vehicle. Rick Justice has late model, low mileage vehicles and 72-month, 72,000-mile warranties available on all vehicles. Come see us today, and we'll show you how we've been helping your friends and relatives find the car, truck, or SUV that was right for them. We will earn your business.
And we're back with some local stories and some things that are going to be going on. Have you been to the casino lately?
No, have not.
You know, it's been shut down, what is it, a couple months now?
It's been a while.
I think it's August the 14th. The Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians are going to be opening back up for business. So if you've been missing it, it's going to be there for you before long. Okay. So I hadn't been. In news stories, let's jump in on this and see what's going on with news stories this morning as we flip over to see what's happening. Do you remember this story when it happened?
I do remember. It's been several years back there.
10 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But yeah, the trees that were killed in Auburn, someone poisoned them.
And this was probably the most hated man at Auburn that there could be. And it was mean.
Yeah.
Why he done it, I still don't know.
Yeah, that is sad. I mean, that's a big landmark for that school, and people,
From what I understand,
take
they
years
were
for a tree like that to grow back.
130 years old is what
Yeah.
they were when he killed them.
Yeah, and I love the old, big, huge oak trees and just
Great
different
shade.
trees. I love them.
Need to make a trip down to Oak Alley in Louisiana, that home, that sits off the river that's got the driveway.
I love stuff like that, and with the Spanish moss
Yeah.
hanging from the trees. I love that.
Doesn't get any better than that. But he passed away over the weekend, and again, probably the most disliked man there at Auburn University. He was a big Alabama fan, but that was taking it the step further that he shouldn't have.
Yeah. That's sad that the man has passed away. I'm sorry for his family, and it was a poor choice that he made.
It sure was. And you have to live, and his family will forever be, they're branded.
I'm an Alabama fan, I will have to say, but some fans take it way too far, and that was one of them.
Because the old saying, his name is Mud. Do you know where that come from?
No, I don't.
When, what's his name, come from John Wilkes Booth, had come from killing Lincoln. He got a doctor named Mud to help him.
Oh, okay.
His name is Mud. He never recovered from that.
Yeah.
In other stories this morning, as we move forward, we've got, this was sad, an Alaska lawmaker. Now, this was midair, crashed, and it killed everyone involved. One of the planes it was a hunting guide with several people that were going hunting,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
no one survived it.
That is awful.
Yeah, when you leave...
You would think that there would be some kind of someone watching that, like at a
air traffic controller.
an air traffic controller would be keeping track of that.
Unless it was one of those, and I've never been to Alaska, so I don't know if it's one of those real rural route airports to where you land yourself and you talk to somebody else 400 miles away. I've landed in some of those before.
Yeah. I've also been on a small airplane before, and I was a nervous wreck. But that is horrible.
It is.
It's awful.
There's lots of speculation over this. Are you a big Ellen fan?
Years ago I was, but I don't. Occasionally I'll catch her show or something if I'm at home that day in the afternoon. I'm not a big huge fan.
Her political views are probably different than you and I, and it's hard to watch somebody every day that doesn't agree like The View. There's no way.
Now that's one that I have quit watching.
Yeah. I can't do that. But a rumor has been that Ellen was considering leaving the talk show. I just read to where that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I had heard a few controversial things, that was going on with her, and she is funny. She is funny at times, I used to like to watch her a whole lot. Fact is, I work a whole lot, so I don't get to watch TV unless it's late at night.
So that's what's going on with Ellen. She's not going anywhere. And who knows? Maybe all of that was just really some political stunt to get you to talk about her again.
Yeah, maybe so.
Where was it that she sat? She sat next to George Bush at a ball game. What was it, a year ago? And it caused all types of talk, and it was hype for a show.
Yeah.
All planned.
Yeah.
As we move into this now, would your grandma do this to you?
I don't know if my grandmother would do that to me, but I can tell you right now, I would do that to my child, and people might think that's wrong, but, like I was saying when we talked about this, I would be the mother that come in the street and grab my child out and,
drug him out,
drug him off the street. This is ridiculous. I mean...
Now, Grandma's watching TV. This is Portland, Oregon, where they've got all of these fights and the Molotov how do you say that word?
I'm not really sure, but those cocktail things that they throw,
and blow up.
Yeah.
Well, she sees grandson wearing a vest that she bought him. He had a hoodie on, covering himself, but she recognized the vest and she called the cops.
Yeah. I bet that was pretty embarrassing to him.
He got what he deserved.
Yeah, and I have a real big problem with these people who complain about getting hurt or getting caught or getting this and that if they're at one of these peaceful protests. Because you know what? If you don't want to be hurt by something, if somebody comes in, the police come in and shut it down or whatever, if you don't want to be in any kind of way hurt or anything, then go home.
Yeah.
Don't go there in the first place. You know it's not going to stay peaceful.
If you're at home, it can't happen to you.
That's right.
You can't be blamed for nothing. And other stories this morning. Now, this is one of the most bizarre things that I watched all weekend. Truck driver's going down the road. This guy runs out in front of him, flags him down. He's bleeding, and he's in his underwear. So the trucker stops to help him, and this fool jumps on his hood with something like a crowbar and starts beating his windshield. So the trucker takes off, tries to throw him off, and it's 9 miles later, this dude's still on his hood.
Yeah, people, like I said the other day, people have lost their minds.
Now,
they have lost it.
They have. Now, I would play the video except for one thing. The people that videoed this entire thing don't use the same language that is permissible in the Deep South.
You have a lot of beeps.
Yeah. So we stay away from
beeps,
it.
But yeah, I would probably, and you know, the sad thing is,
What's that?
Is if the guy had gotten hurt falling off the truck, the trucker would have probably been to blame.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy in this day and time. People, you know, do things, and he'll probably never see a day of any kind of thing done to him for doing that.
No, like in New York and these places now, you really don't get charged. You check in and they release you the same day. So
Yeah, a little pop on the hand.
So
then
why
you're
do we
gone.
even have a court system or law in these areas?
That's what's wrong with this whole country right now. There's no consequences for what people do. And, you know, that's why everything's kind of going downhill. So.
And you tell me if I'm wrong, it all starts at home.
It does start at home. As a matter of fact, I try to veer away from making comments on any kind of a post, but
Some days.
I did comment on a post because about, you know, people saying how everything else is to blame for maybe, say, our city.
Right.
The problems there. And crime is up. Drugs have taken over communities and stuff like that. And you're not going to tell me that these things don't start at home.
That's right.
If you have your children, you know, if you're watching what they're doing and you're monitoring what they're doing, I'm not saying 100% every time. You can raise your kids the right way and you never know what's going to happen.
That's right.
But, you know, I think it helps if it starts at home, you know, discipline and everything, doing the right thing, then maybe these people will turn out to be a little bit more decent.
It is.
You know, I don't know.
But if you do that, then you've got a better chance of making it, is what we're saying.
Yes,
So
that's
our thoughts there. As we move to the next story, I mean, who lets this happen?
It's crazy.
A Dunkin' Donuts employee does this to a cop, more or less spits in his coffee. He's been arrested. As a matter of fact, I do know that he's out already. So that's where we are on that.
I'm sorry, people. That's all I can say. I'm speechless, I guess you can say, about it because people have just lost it.
Yeah, they have.
I mean, I feel like that's all I say, but that's the truth.
I'm 100%.
What is going on?
At some point, America has to wake up and go, the buck stops here.
Yeah. And I mean, who's hiring these people? I mean, look, he didn't even look stable in his little mugshot.
I mean, would you hire that guy if he came in?
No, I mean, he looks really clean. You know, he looks really kept.
And, you know, and used to, when you went for a job interview, you showed up, you were very neat. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And
right.
I've seen some outfits that people show up for job interviews, and it's wow.
Yeah, I know, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover, but, you know,
right.
First impressions are everything.
You've never made a better mistake.
Yeah.
It's like going out on a date. Would you go out on a date with that guy?
No, I mean, no, I would not. And I wouldn't want him handling any of my food or anything. That's just gross, though. You don't spit in someone's coffee. He should get charged, like, majorly for that.
They got him. I forget what it was that he was charged for, but he's it was doing something to a police officer. They got him on several different ones. I read it and can't remember the exact charges, but they did get him on that.
Well, good.
In other stories, this is sad.
I've always liked him, Wilford Brimley.
Now, he's been in so many movies. A lot of them, I can't remember the names of them, but his face is... Oh, and he was the Quaker Oats guy for 18 dozen years.
Yeah. I've always liked watching him. He was just kind of like a grandfather figure. You know, it looks like, you know, just to me in the movies. And he was in that movie Cocoon.
But I did make a mistake on the screen. He did not die of COVID-19. He died of dialysis, I believe is what his problem was. Okay. So my mistake on that, on the correction there. But he did pass away. My fellow Americans, I was telling you, that was one of my favorite movies that I watched. It was just funny all the way through it.
Yeah,
so,
but 85 years old, he lived a long life.
He did. A good one. He probably would disagree with you there at the end.
Well, probably so. But.
And this is a good story. A lot of folks like this guy. Luke Combs has tied the knot. Now, in the original story that I read, it said longtime girlfriend. I thought, wow, they must have been dating 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Guess how many?
Like a year?
It was 4, but they the writer considered that to be, because there's a lot of people that's been engaged, for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So is 4 years dating a long time?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I mean, in like this day and time, you could say sometimes a year. It's a long time, depending on who you're talking to or talking about. But yeah, that's good. I'm glad for him.
Yeah, it did work out. And boy, he is probably in country music about the best newcomer that's out there. You can actually understand the words to his songs.
I love listening to people who, there's some people who you can hear them singing on a CD or on the radio or whatever, and it's great. And then you hear them in concert, or you hear them just or you can watch something, they're in a studio and they're recording something and they sound totally different. But his voice is not a doctored up voice. He really is a good singer.
It's natural.
Yeah.
And what was the one that I heard? I don't think it's all that old. It may not mean nothing to you, but it does to me.
Yeah,
Boy,
yeah.
That's a touching song.
Yeah. He's a really good artist.
Yeah. So that's a quick cap of news stories that we've got this morning. We hope that you have a great day. And Candace, I want to thank you for dropping in today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You invite me in, and I always enjoy it.
Coming up, I'll recap the weather for you so you'll be up to date on everything. Thanks, Candace.
Thank you.
Well, the Piggly Wiggly of Collins would love to have you to come out and visit with them and do some grocery shopping. They got some great deals going on this week. This will run through tomorrow afternoon. Plums or nectarines, you can still get those for $1.69 a pound, along with those cantaloupes. Now, if you hadn't bought any of these yet, check it out. 2 for $4. Also, you could still get the yellow or zucchini squash for $1.69 a pound. That's some of the deals that they got over there in the produce section. You'll like that. If you're needing some coffee, how about those Maxwell House K-Cups? You can get the 12-count package for $5.99. Those are really handy. If you hadn't moved to a coffee machine like that, you don't waste coffee. It fixes a cup. It's great. Also, still great specials on those Dixie Crystals. You can get that 4-pound bag, $2.99 for that sugar in the bag. It's good. Also, you can still take advantage of the Chips Ahoy. If you've got a hankering for something sweet, these are really good. 2 for $4 there. These deals can only be found out at the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. You take the boneless, skinless chicken tenders, you can get those for $2.99 a pound. If you're in the produce section, you just move right on down the aisle there and you'll run into the meat. And it's a great deal back there. Freshest meat you'll find in town. Also, if you're needing steaks, those top sirloin steaks, they're certified Angus beef boneless for $4.99 a pound. Along with Coca-Cola products, always a good deal on that. The 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, 2 for $9. You can find this and so much more at the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. Great folks, friendly staff, and they'll help you find anything you want when it comes to getting those groceries. Drop in and see Joe today. Well, as we recap everything, let's start off first and go back over our COVID numbers and tell you where we are for the state of Mississippi at this point this morning. Let's pull that up so you can take a look at that. Let me switch over to this screen and pull that back up. As we look at this, 672 cases yesterday, 10 new deaths, 171 long-term care facility outbreaks. Now, again, the numbers around lunchtime today will be out from today. That's normally the day before how it works out. So new numbers are coming, but that's where we are. There's been no relief on this so far. We just keep seems to be getting worse and worse. As we recap our weather, as we go back at the extended forecast of what's going to happen, as we carried it through Friday, we've got sunshine and high of 95. We start seeing a slight chance of rain on the weekend there. Come Saturday, 20% chance, and Sunday. But again, that's not a whole lot of rain, so don't worry too much about that. And again, we'll be tracking should something else form when it comes to hurricane. This has been one of the busiest years so far, earliest that we've seen. Let's hope everything stays out of the Gulf. It has so far, but should it, we'll be on top of that to make sure that you know the very latest when it comes to weather. I'd like to say thank you for spending part of your day with me. Very kind of you. A big thank you to our sponsors, Hooper's on 22nd Avenue, Rick Justice Automotive, Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative, Graphics Guru, SMI Automotive, San Marcos, the Lauderdale County Farm Supply, and our good friend Kim Smith Photography. If you'd like to know more, always come back, visit. We'll keep you up to date, street by street, when the weather turns bad and go live up to your doorstep. Again, thank you for watching and spending part of your day with Scotty Ray's Weather. Big thank you to Candace as well.